Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the My Stock Journey channel. So today we're going to be going over 3 stocks that I feel like are going to perform super well over the month of September. The last time I did this, I did it for the month of August. I had picked Microsoft, JP Morgan, and Walmart. Microsoft was up a record 14% in the month of August. JP Morgan was up 3.3% and Walmart was up 7%. So if for some reason you did just go ahead and go with what I did pick, which I do not recommend once again because I am not a CFA and I am not a legal advisor when it comes to your money, so you make your own decisions just for disclosure purposes. But if you did go ahead and you did do that, I'm sure you saw some absolute growth in that. So definitely let me know in the comments section if you did see any growth, and let me know about your story over the month of August. But today I do have 3 stocks that I feel like are going to perform really well over the course of September. We have a whole bunch of news coming out with the whole COVID situation. And with that being said, a lot of stocks are reacting differently. And so with that being said, I did go ahead and pick 3 stocks that I thought had some growth opportunity. I had one that's a little bit more short term, one that has a good dividend, and one that's going to be good over the long term. If you do enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. Our channel has been growing a whole bunch recently. It's super overwhelming, and the support you guys are giving me is just absolutely, it's just so motivating, and it makes me feel, it just inspires me. It really makes me feel like every day I need to get up and I need to put out the content that you guys want to see. With that being said, don't forget to leave me future suggestions for videos in the comment section. Anything that you would like to see me post in the future, let me know down there. And if you are new to the channel and you do enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into the video. So first up on the list, we have Abbott Laboratories. So if you have been watching the news, if you have been checking up on this whole situation with the whole virus and everything, you would definitely have heard about Abbott Laboratories by this point. They're a laboratory firm. Basically what they do is they just come up with vaccines, anything that has to do with medicine related things. And they have been all over the place recently. So basically what they've created is going to be this type of test. It's a $5 test from what I do believe, and it only takes 15 minutes to produce your results. You can actually download an app that'll give you your results, and that's actually something that's super different than everybody else. The reason that I feel like this is going to do super well is because I know a lot of businesses are considering using this mobile app to actually allow people to get into their store or their bar or their club, etc. Because I'm starting to get this vision of, you know, we go places, say you want to go to the movies, and they're like, hey, you got to show us on your app that you've taken that test within the last 3 days to make sure that you don't have corona, plus we're going to take your fever or something like that. And I feel like that can produce a more sanctioned and better way, I guess, for people to start to really understand who all is coming in and out, and a good way to be able to track who all is actually testing positive for this and where they have all been. So I feel like that can definitely play its effect. The Fed does agree with that. They've recently bought 150 million tests for $750 million. So that does show a lot of, you know, short-term potential for sure for Abbott Laboratories, but I feel like that does provide some, you know, some good insight to the future as to how well they can perform over time. Because if these tests do become a part of modern day society, this company is going to be producing these things at the millions, and that's definitely going to produce a lot of revenue. I know the cost margin on these things is not the best. They sell them for a little bit more than they make them for, but whenever they're producing them at the quantity of hundreds of millions, I don't believe that to be a big problem at all. But if we go ahead and take a look at the accuracy of these tests, that's something I do want to, you know, touch up on, because it's actually very, you know, nice. They're actually saying that this test at 97% accuracy, meaning that 3 out of every 100 tests taken will report a false. So it could be a false positive or a false negative. But I feel like in current day, with some of these tests being reported at 40% accuracy, that's definitely a step up. And the fact that it gives you your results in 15 minutes is definitely a big plus. Abbott Laboratories is currently sitting at $109 per share, which honestly is a little bit high, but I do believe that if, you know, we start to really utilize this app and we start to utilize this test, that this can be a very important part of society. And so with that being said, I feel like if they do start getting a lot of that clout and a lot of that hype and attention, that $109 can easily look into the 120s, 130s over the next year. So it definitely is a stock to look out for. You know, I'm definitely keeping my eye on this. Maybe not at the moment, I'm not buying in. I might look for it to slow down a bit, but if they do start to produce 50 million to 100 million one of these every single year, I definitely believe that it's going to be worth the buy. Even if I do buy maybe 1 or 2 shares, I feel like over the long run we can definitely see some returns. So Abbott Laboratories is the very first stock pick for September 2020. Next up, we have Starbucks. Now, Starbucks is the big one of the video. This is the one that I am the most excited about and the one that I feel like has the most potential. So Starbucks has been on a roll recently. It is up actually 10% only in the last month. Its current stock price is sitting at $85.28. But the crazy thing about it is that an investment bank actually took their price target from $78 all the way up to $90, meaning that they're seeing another potential gain for about $4.70 roughly, which is absolutely phenomenal, you know, considering they're up 10% already. So, if this investment bank got their stuff down and they do set that price target at 90 and it hits 90, that could definitely bring some major returns over the short term. But honestly, I feel like Starbucks has a lot of long-term potential as well. One reason I say that is because we are actually seeing the average order cost is starting to go up, meaning that people are ordering a little bit more every single order, which is very, very good. The reason I would say that is because the more people order, the more money they spend, the more money that Starbucks makes. Now, as an investor, we all know that if a company's making more money and they're keeping their spending down, that we see some growth. So another reason I am seeing a lot of potential in the long term for Starbucks is that they're starting to focus their attention on smaller facilities that are going to be just drive-thrus. Now, the reason that I believe that this will be very beneficial to them is that this is going to cut their cost a bit. Now, Starbucks has focused a lot on these large walk-in facilities where you can walk in, you can sit in, you can dine in, etc. But what they're looking towards now are these ones that are only going to be drive-thrus. This is going to cut their costs because it's a lot less upkeep. They're not going to spend so much money worrying about people being able to come in and all the safety policies and everything that goes with that. All they're going to be focused on is their product, putting out the right things, and pushing them through a drive-thru as effectively and efficiently as possible. So whenever we do see some of these start to go up, I definitely will know that it is time to go big on Starbucks, because I feel like this can be a very good idea for them, because we're seeing people are starting to order more. People are starting to focus their attention on Starbucks, especially as they're staying at home. They might want a little bit of food for later. And I feel like that definitely is contributing to why their ticket comps are growing so much. So we can definitely see some long-term growth coming from these smaller locations out of Starbucks. Now, the very last thing, and this is the reason why I'm so big on Starbucks right now, is that so over the pandemic, 40% of all revenue was lost from Starbucks, meaning that they were down 40% in how much they usually make every single year. That is very, very big. And actually, they reported their first quarter loss, which was 40%. Now, the reason that I think this is massive is because their stock is up 10%. So whenever we do start to look at Starbucks, the majority of their locations are actually starting to open now. So that means that their revenue is going to get back to normal, and even maybe not even go back to normal, but exceed what it was sometime earlier this year, sometime late of last year. So they're up 10%, and their last report was them being now 40%. Imagine the difference whenever they start to report their profits. They're starting to report that they're back up 100%, 120, 110%, up 25%, etc. That can be insane. That can really drive their numbers through the roof. And I believe that as their locations keep starting to open, slowly but surely, maybe they start to open some of these smaller locations, this will slowly drive that revenue and that profit every single year, every single month, every quarter through the roof. So I'm definitely looking out for that. I'm looking out for the next quarterly earnings report from them, because I feel like before then would be a very amazing time to get in. I'm getting in early. I think September is the right time to get in, and I feel like there's a lot of bright potential coming out of Starbucks. Next up on the list, we have Southwest Airlines. Now, this is one that I am seeing a lot of potential from as well. Southwest Airlines is currently sitting at $37.58 per share. Now, that is actually them being up 23% in the last month. Now, let's think about that for a second, because if we have read the reports and if you have been checking the news, TSA has been reporting that air traffic is still down 70%. So how is that? How is it that people aren't traveling as much? 70% of the people traveling last year are still not traveling this year, but this stock is up 23% in 1 month. Maybe that means that it's not about the numbers, but it's more about optimism. It's more about people thinking, well, hey, this whole virus and the pandemic is starting to be kind of more in control. We're starting to figure this thing out a bit. There's Abbott Laboratories producing these awesome products. Maybe we're starting to get a grasp on this. Maybe let me go ahead. Let me book out. Let me schedule a flight to Athens next January, next February. And I feel like that's starting to drive the optimism. People are getting a little bit more optimistic with airline stocks, and they see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're starting to finally see, okay, maybe there's an end to this. Maybe we can finally start getting back to normal life, quote unquote. And I think that's going to be massive. That's going to be massive in September, October, November. As long as this thing doesn't start getting crazy again, we're starting to grow. We're starting to get back up there. And I think Southwest is a very clear visual representation of the optimism in modern day society about this whole pandemic. On top of all the optimism that we are seeing around the airline industry, we are also seeing how strong of a company Southwest Airlines is. They're actually starting to put out these deals where you can travel from your city to another city. It's only certain routes and it's not a lot of them, but it's some, for $39. Now, that means that you can get on a Southwest plane, you can go to your airport, get on a Southwest plane and go to another city for only $39. Why are they doing that? You know, clearly the fuel that they're using is going to cost more than those $39 tickets is going to pay for. But I don't think it's about that. I think they're doing this to keep these customers on board, because say if Delta starts doing this or Spirit starts doing this, these other customers might be like, oh yeah, I'm going to just go fly Delta because they're doing it for cheap. And then maybe whenever this whole pandemic ends or we get back to normal life, maybe these loyal customers for Southwest Airlines may not be so loyal anymore. Maybe they start to get accustomed to Delta or all these other ones. So we notice that Southwest Airlines is willing to spend a little bit more extra cash to keep their customers on board with them, keep their customers satisfied. And that is a direct result from their very, very strong balance sheet. One thing that I can say about Southwest Airlines, after analyzing their balance sheet, after watching what their chairman say and watching what their management team has done, they have one of the strongest balance sheets of all of the airline companies on the planet. Easily, hands down, not even close. And the reason that I think that this can be so beneficial is because in times like these, the more cash you have and the smarter financials that you have, the better off you will be in the long run. Because we are seeing some of these big companies start to die. They're not doing so well. We're still down 70% in air traffic. If these companies aren't making money and their balance sheet sucks, they didn't have enough cash left over, they might start to run dry really fast. And yeah, they might get bailed out from the Fed, but how long will it take for them to start paying that stuff back, right? So I definitely think that Southwest Airlines has a lot of potential in the next year. And I think that it's going to start to really show how well they're doing as all of their competitors start to really waver and start struggling in the here short term. The last thing that I am seeing from Southwest Airlines that is very optimistic is the fact that they are purchasing more cost-effective planes from Boeing. Now, the reason that I believe that this is so important is because it shows that they're not concerned. They're concerned, of course, but they're not really concerned with this pandemic. They're like, okay, well, whenever life goes back to normal, what exactly can we do to better prepare ourselves for another pandemic like this? How can we go about saving even more money than we were before and putting money in the right places? So what they're going ahead and doing is they're just starting to buy more cost-effective planes. They're like, look, I want to spend as little money as possible. I want to put some money to the side just in case anything like this arises again, so we can be even higher up off the water. And I think that is an absolutely amazing sign from a company that's been around for this long. They're still staying fresh, they're keeping it adaptive, and they're adapting to every single situation that the world throws at them and performing better than ever. If you guys did like that video, definitely let me know by smashing that like button. Once again, we are growing so much, and I can only say thank you to every single one of you who sits back and watches all these videos. If you did watch the video all the way to the end, drop an emoji in the comment section. It'll let me know that you did support all the way through, and I really do appreciate it. If you do have any suggestions for videos, if you have any feedback, any comments, anything that you would like to say, also leave that in the comment section. I'll always reply to you there. If you are new to the channel and you did enjoy this video, go check out some of my other videos and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.